Hey everyone, this is Mike, and this is the first, or one of the first bosses in Firelands, Shannox. So this fight is pretty simple. A lot of pugs can do it now. So we start off, basically the way my guild does it is we kill Rageface first, and then we kill Shannox to 40%, and then we kill Riplimb, and then we kill Shannox. So I'm going to start talking quickly about the dog abilities. So Rageface does not have a aggro table. He just jumps around from person to person. And so you want to kill it first, obviously. So there's not much to know about Rageface other than he does an ability, or it does an ability called Face Rage, and when he does that, it'll charge or leap onto one of your raid members and just start hitting them for I think like 8,000 damage every half a second, and that damage slowly increases over time, and that'll keep going until either your target is dead, or Rageface receives a 30k crit on it. So someone has the 30k crit Rageface. However, while Face Rage is going on, first of all, the player that it's happening to cannot do anything. They're stunned and they're knocked down the entire time. But also, critical strike chances increased on Rageface, so makes it a little bit easier to get that crit. I'm pretty sure it's 30k crit after the nerf. But other than that, Rageface is pretty simple. Just it aggroes whoever it wants, and then you got to kill it. The other dog is called Riplimb, and now this dog needs to be fought a hefty amount away from Shannox, and my guild does it where like Riplimb and Shannox are like yards apart. As you can see, that's where Riplimb's going and Shannox is right there. The reason you want to keep them very far apart is because Shannox does something called Hurl Spear. When he does that, he throws a spear somewhere in the raid, and what Riplimb will do is he'll run to get that spear, and then he'll run to give it back to Shannox. Now the important part about this is that when what's his face, Shannox hurls his spear, he no longer does arcing slash, which applies Jagged Tear, which is a 3,000 physical damage every 3 seconds for 30-second dot that stacks per. Obviously, it just stacks and does more damage to your tank, obviously. But Shannox does that, and so does Riplimb. But when Shannox throws his spear, he no longer does that. And then, obviously, Riplimb won't do it to the tank that's tanking Riplimb. So, what you want is, during that phase where the hurl spear happens, for your Jagged Tear, did I say? Yeah, Jagged Tear to get off your debuffs. So what'll happen is that, obviously, I just said Riplimb goes to chase a spear and give it back to Shannox. Now, the time between when one of those, like when Riplimb goes to fetch the spear and it gets to Shannox, it has to, I don't remember the exact time, but it has to be X amount of seconds, whatever amount of time you have left on your debuff. And one strategy you can do is these things called crystal prison traps or something like that, which Rageface will spawn on players, and they're basically counter traps. As you see, there's immolation traps all over the place. Don't stand in those because they do like 75k fire damage plus additional fire damage for like 9 seconds. So the fire traps, they spawn on you, but they don't arm themselves for 2 seconds. You have 2 seconds to get out. But just like those traps, those fire traps, crystal prison traps will spawn, and you want to line up Riplimb, your tank that's tanking Riplimb wants to line up Riplimb to those crystal traps, because what happens is Riplimb will run over that with or without the spear, and if he hits it, he will become encased in a crystal prison, and that gives you all the time in the world basically to lose that debuff, which is great. It's really helpful. Otherwise, you're gonna need to do a lot of kiting, kite and more kite. What did I miss? I feel like I missed something. Yeah, as you see here, Riplimb is running to give the spear back to Shannox, and I think we have him far enough where he doesn't need to be in a crystal prison. God damn it! But it always helps. It definitely does. Oh yeah, the other thing is that if one of the dogs runs over any trap at all, they cannot be trapped. They don't take effect from any of the traps for another 20 seconds. So if you accidentally run over an immolation trap with a dog, then they can't be crystal prisoned for 20 seconds afterwards. So make sure you're really careful about that. Otherwise, the other thing to note is that when each dog dies, I believe Shannox gets a 30% damage increase and attack speed increase. Some guilds do it where they kill both dogs at the same time, but my guild is so awesome we don't have to. But yeah, the other thing to know is that when he does hurl his spear, as you just saw that big fiery maze thing that happened, you don't want to get hit by that. That's actually a lot of damage. So well, it can be a lot of damage. So just try not to get hit by that. I forget what it's called. What is it called? It's like, that's all it is. It's hurl spear. Yeah, he hurls spear, and then once both dogs are dead, he's not gonna hurl spear anywhere in the race. He's just gonna hurl spear on himself. And like as you see here, this is hurl spear, and then yeah, don't stand in that. That's pretty simple. But he gets damage increase. Other than that, that's it. So don't stand in players also can get hit by those crystal prisons, and if they get in those, you need to get them out quick, especially if it's a tank or a healer, because that shit sucks. But yeah, all it is kill Rageface, who doesn't have an aggro table. Make sure you 30k crit at least for face rage. Riplimb, he needs to be tanked, and you need to get the jagged tear off of you when hurl spear happens. Hurl spear also drops a fire thing on the ground, so don't get hit by that. When each dog dies, Shannox gets a 30% damage increase and attack speed increase per dog. And other than that, don't get hit by immolation traps, and I'm pretty sure that's it. So if you have any questions, or if you have anything to add to this, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, or in a personal message, and I'll get back to you if it's a question or whatnot. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to click on any of the annotations at the end of this video for more guides if there's no annotation. Well, then that video is not uploaded yet, so you had to wait! But yeah, so that's it for Shannox. Hope you guys learned something. Hopefully it was informational. But yeah, see you all later, and I love your faces.